If not, we'll go directly into the pledge.
We usually go to the meeting for the pledge.
Hmm?
We usually go to the meeting for the pledge.
Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, come to order. Did you roll call? Yes, ma'am, please.
All right, Councilmember Catherine Terry.
Here.
Councilmember Lonnie Carroll.
Here.
Councilmember Mark Merritt.
Here.
Councilmember Bill Coon.
Here.
I'm here, and Alexander
Here. Okay, item 1, do we have any additions, deletions, changes, and approval of the agenda? I'd like to make an addition of the, still dealing with the depot.
Hey Kelly, are we, is the camera on?
Yes.
Depot,
Yeah.
I had asked about being on the agenda to keep y'all updated on the progress of the utility project.
Can
Okay,
we move him to 1A, so he don't have to sit
Sure.
around?
sure, and I think we're gonna expect you
Appreciate it, guys.
each time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, approval of the minutes. I see that Kelly's done some hustling here. We have minutes from August 18th, September 15th, September 19th, September 29th, September 30th, and October 6th. And I'll back up. Was there any more additions or changes, or we're good? Did you want us?
I didn't have nothing,
And you can say it in discussion anyway, if I heard that.
yeah, but not, if you don't have it on the agenda, you can't go in. That'd be the difference.
You can discuss it. I can't hear way down there, you probably said it.
I'm just saying, if you don't get it on the agenda, you can't vote on it,
Yeah,
so
yeah, but
I don't have nothing.
Okay.
I just got a couple of discussions.
are we good with these minutes? I think most of us probably looked them over at home.
Unless y'all seen something I didn't see, I'm good with them.
You're caught up, you're good, Kelly.
I second.
No, I didn't, I will.
You did.
I make a motion to
No.
approve the minutes.
We have a second.
I second.
I thought you asked.
All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, do we have any public comments? Come on. Come right up here, please, and tell us your name.
State your name and
Where
your
from?
business.
I'm Mike Chase. I'm with Florida Rural Water Association. I'm just here I sent a letter and a flyer saying all the you guys are members of the Florida Rural Water Association. And we offer all sorts of technical assistance on water, wastewater, management of utilities. My CEO wanted me to come down here and let you know that we are available and we are helping. I think there was a meeting with Fred and Andy to come out and take a look at the water system and offer some suggestions. I think Diane Stewart is working on a rate study to see what it's actually going to cost and give some good numbers to make some hard decisions. Other than that, there's a flyer in your email. I emailed everyone. Take a look. If there's something else we can help with, we're here to serve.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We do too, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mr. New, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Chase, I just want to thank you because I was communicating with you,
Yes, sir. Yes.
you know, several months ago
Mhm.
about the study, the rate study for White. I know you responded to that.
Diana's, she's got a long list of rate studies and she's trying. I keep trying to edge her up to the front, but we'll get it as soon as we can. A little bit about my background. I'm with Florida Rural Water for about a year now, but my previous life as a professional engineer, I worked for the Department of Environmental Protection and State Revolving Fund. We did a lot of funding stuff. The Water Quality Improvement Grant is paying for this. The wastewater project was right next door to our shop. So, and I was part of the crew that kind of reviews and recommends projects. So I was in on that. So I have a little bit of a foot in the door at funding side if questions come up on that, or if we run into snags on that, I can certainly, I got their ear. So, if something comes up, just let me know and we'll show them. We're going through it.
We appreciate it.
As we can.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll close public
I got
comments.
public comment,
Okay,
video list. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. A couple of things. The minutes, the agenda packets, they're not ADA compliant. Stuff that's on the internet. You should have respect to the handicapped. I'll tell you, before there was this big change of staff members, Connie was here, the attorney was here. I converted them and made them ADA compliant for that. I never said it, but I think everybody needs to be able to see what's posted on the internet. But once everything changed, they didn't do it. And after a while, Connie and the staff began to do it themselves. I showed them how to do it, they learned how to do it. But since we've had this change of staff, this council has not once made sure that the stuff on the internet is ADA compliant. None of it's screen readable. None.
None of us what?
Sorry, screen readable.
Oh,
That's the barest you can do. There's different levels. There's new requirements now, but even if you want the old requirements, you probably wouldn't get sued. If somebody wants to sue you guys now, they could sue you easily. Because it's like you're not even close. It's not like you screwed up one document, it's everything. And it's everything since January. That's the first thing. When you guys put up the agenda packet, this is just a suggestion. Nobody else does it that I've seen the way you guys do it. Is that when you put up the packet, it would be a good idea to put the agenda right in the front of it. So that people that use a computer, look at the agenda packets, know what they're looking at. Instead of item number 1, item number 2, I mean, it's great that you label them, but nobody would have a clue what it is without the agenda in the front to be able to relate to it. So that would be a good idea. As far as additions and deletions, you guys, AKA the council, has pretty much taken, just kind of like you do it when you feel like it. Some of this stuff is important. The public has a right to know, and this court case is going back to the 70s, that the public has a right to know about the pendency of issues in front of the elected representatives. So unless it's an exigent circumstance, which in plain English means if your house is on fire, they don't need a warrant to put the fire out, or somebody drives by your home and they see rats and cockroaches running out the front door and the mail piled up, the police don't need a warrant to go and see if like one of you guys is dead. That's what an exigent circumstance is. But just to discuss things willy-nilly because you feel like it, you know, pancakes for Santa, that's important to some folks, to Santa and the folks. But that just shouldn't be added at the end. There would be people in the community that may be interested in that. So I think you just have to tighten up your game a little bit about that. And the final thing is, we won't get this tonight. Came a little late, so I don't know where the mayor is. But with all the reports that people get, now that the mayor is actually acting like a strong mayor, he's here, he answers the phone, he tells DEP only to contact him and not contact anybody else, which really isn't fair to any of you. I mean, you all have brains. I think you need a report from the mayor at these meetings so that you know what he's doing and the public knows what he's doing. So I would ask that you add a report, the mayor's report to the agendas Now, the final thing is, I brought this up at the last meeting. The attorney's billing, he charges a minimum of 2/10. He said he learned that in law school, and I didn't even know where it went until I looked at his resume today, and that was Stetson. I never heard of anybody learning that in law school. But if you want to pay for pancakes for Santa out of the taxpayers' money, you know, you guys don't collect taxes, but everything you spend is paid by somebody in the state of Florida with the federal government. Is that if he picks up the phone and says, "Hi, Mr. Harrell, I'm busy right now, I can't talk to you until 2 o'clock, and it's 1 o'clock," he charges 2/10. That's $35. If you go and look at his bills, and this is just an observation, it's not a criticism. If you look at his bills, and he does that 10 times, that's $17.50 a time. So that's $17.50, it's $170. And all I could say, for the benefit of you guys that are interested in pancakes for Santa, that's a lot of pancakes. So if he talks for 1/10, he should bill for 1/10. I don't even know if that's, and he has no contract. So he just decided, I guess, to do that upon himself. Is that I really request that that's something you consider. And that's what I got. Thank you very much.
Any other public comments? Okay, we'll close that. And Mr. Bailey?
Good evening, thank you. Just wanted to give you an update on the utility projects. The wastewater project, the town is still working on the easements. We really need to get those complete, so that we don't hold up the contractors on that. All permits, obviously have been obtained. The only technicality we have on the wastewater treatment plant, it took the town a little bit to get through. There's an advertising requirement once they tentatively issue the permit that the town has to go through. We got that done. And then the town had to get an affidavit of that advertising. That's all been done. So everyone is waiting on the DEP manager to actually sign the permit now. So that is imminent for that. We prepared the grant agreements, the construction contracts. The contract, we've submitted those to the contractor. Those have been submitted to the town attorney for review. So once those are approved and the town approves that, then our next steps are pre-construction meetings with the contractor and actually get them actually out there building. So we need to get that done as soon as possible. Just remind you, there was a deadline on this first grant of December of next year. So we want to get that project moving in its entirety to expend those funds. We don't think there's going to be any issue with expending the funds. The total funding was a little bit short on the first phase. You do have a second grant. We've been working on the grant initiation documents for that. We did discuss with DEP. They've agreed to let us use some of those funds to cover the shortfall in the first phase. We're working that grant work program, the work documents with that in mind, to keep you covered in that particular case. We're getting those grant initiation documents completed, coordinating with DEP on that. That grant is $12 million on that second part of it. So that exceeds CCNA. Whenever you did this first grant, it was prior council. Mr. Coon was here, Mr. Terry might have been here when we got selected the first time. We have to go through a similar process as that. Would be my recommendation. You have to go out for an RFP and request, for all engineers to be able to apply for it and do that work. So once that grant agreement is finalized, you'll need to, initiate that process to move that project forward under that second phase. And that covers it on the wastewater treatment plant. The wastewater treatment project. Do you have any questions on any of that?
I I have a question about what you just said, on the next one, you said do an RFP, would it be an RFP or an RFQ? Okay. Thank
I
you.
apologize, those kind of get interchanged.
That's clarifying, thank you.
What did you say, or what?
I said RFP, but it's actually an RFQ.
You could put out an RFP though, couldn't you?
That's actually a request for qualifications under the Consultant Competitive Negotiations Act.
That's not my question. You could, the town could put out an RFP?
They could do an RFP if they wanted to do a different process, like a design build process, they could do that, yes.
So they could do that.
Under a design build concept, but not under a conventional design it, bid it, build it. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand the words, but I don't understand what you're saying. Why can't they put out an RFP?
An RFP, you select engineering based on qualifications. You don't select on price. That's not part of the process. You can do under design build, where you combine the contractor and the engineer, you can do it under that process. Where you put the engineer at the employment of the contractor.
I got a question, is the shortfall will hurt the next phase? The shortfall of money it takes?
It's still gonna be tight, we're working through all that to see what we're gonna get done. But I think we're seeing some softening on some prices, so, we're hoping that we'll still be able to cover, 90 to 100% of what we actually had planned originally.
So this is for phase two. If I won't swap spots with you. This is for phase two of the,
The current contract is phase one. Okay, that's what we're trying to get under contract now. The town has taken the bids and they selected a contract. The town was awarded what we call phase two money of $12 million to further increase the collection system and all within the town. So that'd be phase two.
so she said to me to come up here, so I'm gonna have to come up here. Thank you very much, Ms. Terry. So I understand the CA, that thing with the C. Sorry, I'm a little tongue tied tonight. But I still don't understand why you can't put out an RFP. If there's gonna be a shortfall, it's a $12 million contract. You can put what qualifications you want in an RFP that the engineer has to have.
RFP typically involves price.
Or so they're not gonna design it, I believe that's already been designed, this thing?
No.
No, so we know what the budget is, so I don't understand, and this is a problem that's going on in the county right now. And it's a whole blew up there and other places, that I understand this competitive CNNA or it's a that thing. But I don't understand why you can't put it out on RFP, and maybe your attorney can explain that, if he knows. Because we know the price, they're gonna design it. You don't know what they charge, what engineers charge, some of them charge different prices. And being this thing has been hanging out for a while, so that there won't be any underpayments, you could get engineering firms to bid on the project. Not just on price, because you can state what qualifications you need. You can state if they've ever designed the wastewater treatment plant, if they've ever done rate studies, if they've hired architects. You can put everything you want in an RFP. You can find out what price their associates get paid, all those things that you could do. So that may save you some money because, in 3 years, everything accelerates in price and inflates. So that may be something you want to consider and discuss with your attorney and the Rural Water Association.
Okay,
Qualifications is nice, but
okay, thank you.
that's, I hope you understand.
Kelly,
Yes,
do
ma'am.
you have any kind of update on the easements?
Nope, not since whatever you and I chatted about last, that's all I heard.
Okay, do you know, and I can't think of his name, if that gentleman came in Friday or Monday? Today's Monday.
What was his name? He went-
It started with an F, but I can't remember his name.
How many do we have left?
Just like two.
We only have a couple.
Two or three.
Hang on,
We're down to 2 or 3,
Yeah.
just completely signed off on.
I don't remember yet.
Okay, we're good.
One of them, the church. Still,
The church is pending, but everything's delivered to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went over it.
How about Sunstop? Did we get, I thought they wanted some changes or something.
I don't know that Sunstop was on it.
Did we get
One of them petroleum companies was on it,
Yeah.
on the list.
Stop. I think, I wonder, I think, that you delivered one to them?
Not to Sunstop.
No? Oh, that was Dollar Store. I don't remember.
last I heard, they sent it back for a change or something, but anyhow.
Okay, let's move on. Are you good? Do you have anything else to add?
No, if there's any, if
Questions?
anything we need to do to help you with any of the easements, just let us know. We had, last year, we had contact with everybody and everybody seemed to be in agreement with it, so we didn't seem to have any issues. It was just the formality going through that exercise, getting all the appropriate agreements signed and all that, but you know, time passes and then sometimes people move on, especially with businesses and whatnot, so if there's anything we need to do to answer any questions from anybody, I was gonna talk about people from the Sunstop there, so we'll make sure that we're not gonna disrupt their business and things like that. And we've done everything we can to minimize that. In most cases, you know, to be little to no disruption for the schedule.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, the last thing I have is the water leak project. That was another grant project. We're about 60% complete with the design on that. I will be submitting to the clerk we'll need an easement for that. And forgive me, but I don't remember the name of the company out of Jacksonville, but it's the piece of property that's over here on the northeast corner of the town. It's right next to your uncle, brother-in-law, some
Uncle.
relative.
It's right next door to G Mark, they from Jacksonville.
We actually we won't put it on the piece to the north of him right there.
Right,
Cause we gotta get a piece from them anyway, and that's the only easement we need, will be that one company on their property line right there. And, that will connect us to the subdivision over there to the east. All the other connections we're doing are within the town right of way or, public right of way, so that's the only easement that we need, so I'll be sending that to the clerk so that we can initiate, those contacts, if you will, for them, so. We expect to make that submittal to DEP probably the next couple of weeks for the permitting, and then we round up the actual design of that within the next 30 to 45 days. So, and that'll loop the water lines in and get rid of a bunch of dead ends that we have here in town for this water system.
Is that two loop projects?
That's just one,
This one? Isn't there another?
so it's just multiple locations.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Where was the other location?
So I don't, I'd have to go back and look at the plan.
I got it.
So.
Thank you.
I was all concentrating on the one that we had to have to do tonight, so. Okay?
all right, appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll say that's 1A. 1B is this red ribbon proclamation. If y'all remember, the mayor read it several months ago, but I suggested he probably read it during the actual month. And with him not here, I get that opportunity. Fort White, Florida proclamation declaring October 23rd through 31st, 2025 as Red Ribbon Week. Whereas alcohol and drug abuse in this nation has reached epidemic stages, and whereas visible, unified prevention education efforts by community members must be launched to reduce the demand for drugs, and whereas The National Family Partnership, the Florida Department of Education, and other organizations nationwide are sponsoring the National Red Ribbon Campaign, offering citizens the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to drug-free lifestyles, no use of illegal drugs, no illegal use of legal drugs, and whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign will be celebrated in communities across the nation during Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through 31st, and whereas business, government, parents, law enforcement, media, medical institutions, religious institutions, schools, senior citizens, service organizations, and youth will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing and displaying red ribbons during the week-long campaign. And whereas the community of Fort White, Florida, further commits with resources to ensure the success of the Red Ribbon Campaign. Now, therefore, as Vice Mayor of Fort White, I do hereby proclaim, October 23rd through 31st, 2025 as Red Ribbon Week. I encourage all citizens to participate in drug-free prevention education activities, making a visible statement that we are strongly committed to a drug-free community. Thank you. Okay, number 2, our Community Cares Coalition request for $1,000 in funding. Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is the Community Cares Coalition?
Well, there's
How do you represent?
With my representative, there's something in our packet, and,
Let's see.
I don't wanna be the bad guy, but we have put a stop to a lot of this asking for money.
Well, I don't think we put a stop to a lot of asking for money. We put a stop to, we don't have any type of policy or procedure on how we, make a decision, or we haven't come together as a council to determine what a procedure would be for monies and what our cap would be or any of that. So it was my recommendation a while ago that until we do that, that we not get into the involvement of lending money to one organization or another. And I think there's 2 things on here.
Sure, the third was the drill festival.
For that.
So I remember those conversations, and I remember the mayor said that, he didn't think we should be doing away. I'm not speaking for him, but I'm just recalling something he said. I kind of feel the same way. I mean, if you do it for one, you gotta do it for all. So, I know we'd love to give it all these good causes and, especially school related and stuff like that. We'd love to support every program, but I just don't think we have the ability. I will say this though, since we haven't, like you said, stopped the request of, I think that we ought to, have a representative here in person for any requests. I know Ms. Hatcher did with the soccer club, and I appreciate you here to answer questions and this and that, but just getting a letter with nobody here to ask questions or give answers or seek information is, in my opinion, not ideal. I'm not saying that would increase their chances, but at least we would have the opportunity to ask questions. I think when the county did their budget for next year, if I'm not mistaken, in one of their meetings, they said that anybody requesting money from the county, if they didn't have someone there at the meeting, then it would be considered. So I don't think that that's unreasonable.
I agree, and if that's what the mayor did say about donations, I am opposed to that, because being a child growing up here in a small town, and we are the face of the town, and for us to just blatantly say, nope, we're never gonna give out anything, I don't think that that's, I mean, Yeah, I don't think that that's really logical. I do agree with that. There should be some type of process where you show up, there should be an application, there should be, amount. And whether we say to present follow-up receipts or whatever, we have to have something in place. Now, with that being said, we also have to have the funds to give. So rather, we probably as a council need to come up like Ms. Terry is working with the community to do certain things. If we do certain things that is just fundraisers for us that goes into that pot, that's what we use to do donations out of, then that's my idea for that. But we have to come up with something for this because we keep getting them, so we have to come up with some type of protocol.
Right.
And then some type of, somewhere where we're gonna get funds from.
And last year, on that same note, Bill, I don't know if you remember, neither one of y'all were on the council, and actually, Mayor George hadn't been elected yet. But there was a situation where, the council, actually it was May, I was on the council at the end of that meeting. But a huge amount was given to a particular organization, and, after that, we discussed putting a procedure in place, and where that money would come from, yard sale, for example, pancakes, Santa, for example, and it just never developed. So it'd be nice if we could revisit that. And I'll take that horse by the reins if you wanna give it to me.
Sure. Protocol for fundraising, I meant for, donations.
Mhm. And Kelly, that would be like in the kitty of yard sale and breakfast for Santa and the Christmas parade. But as it stands right now, that, yard sale money is gonna sponsor the, pancakes for Santa.
Okay.
Are we good with that?
I would love to get something in place, cause I would love anytime the school comes up here, something. I mean, I grew up here, raised here. I know how much it was appreciated back then. And we just, as a town, Fort White has always gave
Right.
to the school.
And the basketball is with the school, the other one's pretty much the school as well.
Yeah.
Touches the school. But as of right now, we're not funding. Do we agree with that?
Maybe you think about it being Fort White specific, because I know that's $1,000 request, and they're like, our hope with this is you give us money and we can deepen our thing in Fort White, giving the impression that maybe their outreach into your area isn't that great, but you may have things like, it's the Fort White, this, 4 people in Fort White. This seems more like 4 people in Columbia County, and we're gonna try to get you to serve people.
Right. So I agree, the girls' basketball, which is number 3, so I don't know if you wanna go on the first. The girls' basketball is asking for a donation request, which is probably financial. But being that we don't have the resources right now to financially, contribute to much of anything, but a donation request, could we offer them the community center to do a fundraiser to raise money? Whether it be a car wash or whether they sell dinners or something, but we can offer them that free of charge to help them raise some money instead of just saying.
That's why I would like somebody here from that group to answer our
Yeah.
questions like this, like you just asked.
Yeah.
Would that help them or not? We don't
And
know because they're not here.
That kind of contradicts, now you're giving the community center to everybody again.
No, not
Well,
everybody.
not everybody, which is why we're gonna get that policy in place also. But I think when it comes to the kids in the schools and, giving back to our community to better our youth, that's different. As just opposed to somebody creating organizations and just wanting it for free to use to give out whatever they wanna do with it. I'm just all for the kids, cause I've been a child growing up here with, little to no support and trying to make things happen, so. I mean, that was just the idea that I had. But like Bill said, if we don't, then nobody's here to talk about it then.
I have a question. Sure. Did we budget any money for charitable donations?
We've already done the budget.
So if we do, we're gonna have to amend the budget or something. Maybe we, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I know Miss Harris forever, you know, went to school with my kids. I know school, you know, funds are limited. My kids all had to raise money and stuff like that too, so I know it's tough to say no to a worthy cause like that, you know. So, but I don't know what we can do.
I think being that we have to find something until we get something in place and in stone in a process, a protocol for everyone, that we fairly just can't move forward with any donations of any sort at this time.
So both of these are declined until a policy is put in place. And then they can resubmit on those guidelines. Can we go by that? I, of all people, want to give money. I'm a basketball player, basketball coach, has been, but I've washed cars and sold donuts and everything else, so I know where they're coming from.
So do we want
So we need
to
to make motions.
deny the requests, or do we want to table them? And
You can't table them because.
Maybe deny them for now.
You don't have to do anything.
We'll have to do an answer. I mean, the polite thing to do would be to give them an
Yeah,
answer.
we definitely need to give them an answer.
Or just politely say, we don't have money in our budget for that this year. Kind of saying no, but it's the truth, you haven't budgeted
That is
for
the
it.
truth.
Yeah.
So then it's like, we don't have this in the budget, we'll consider it for next year. You know, and you can maybe compile like a folder of everybody that asked, so you have an idea of like, how much are people asking from you, so that next year you may say, let's set aside some number of money to
Right.
use.
so we-
Okay, so we're gonna say no to both of those requests at this time and move on. Agree?
do we need a motion? Brett? Or do we just,
You could just not take action on it,
Okay.
not telling them no, but you just tell them you don't have the money for it this time.
So we're moving on to number 4. We need to approve Mr. Buller's attorney invoice. It's in our packet. I think hopefully we're now past so much of his busy work. He might be grateful too.
And it seems to be going in the direction in which I hope that it will continue to do, because now it's $2,000+ less than it was the month before. But now this is the month of September, and quite frankly, this is October now, this billing is for the month of September. So that was a lot of stuff that was happening back then. This month probably be less. And just for the record, just because it's been brought up every time, and maybe it'll be brought up every time thereafter, but if you all can give me some direction, because you're the client, you pay the bill. Are y'all okay with the way I do the billing, or would you rather me do it in like big chunks of time and just tell you like generally, here's what happened over that span of time? I don't know. Like, I'm just doing you the way I've always done it for everyone.
I'm gonna speak for me. My vote for you was from your resume and your appearance at our meeting the night that we voted to accept you. My vote for your payment was okay with me. I think we've had 2 busy months, and I think hopefully it'll settle down. I'm very happy with what you're doing for us. And you came in, you know, we have crisis after crisis, whether it be water, sewage, staffing. You've been there. Would anyone else like to comment on that?
it has been brought up a couple of times that there is no contract. Do you think it would be, appropriate to do a simple contract, just saying that you're contracted at the hourly rate, was it $175?
We could do, I mean, I could do something very, I have one with Frankfurt that's very simple like that, and we could do one that just basically says that. But my thing is, like, the thing about a contract is essentially on one, you want a period of time that you're sort of ensuring yourself that it's not just gonna end. Because like, for example, with your last agreement, I came here and worked for half the month of July for nothing, and somebody else got paid for that because they had a contract that said they got paid for that month, even though they didn't work for half of it. Now, that's one thing that works with the contract, is like, okay, well, it's this, and some people design contracts where it's like, well, here's my contract, it'll take a 4-1 vote to get rid of me, which only 3 of you have to approve, which is kind of, it's sort of like, I can do one with you, that's no problem, but my answer to this to all of my clients has always been, if 3 of y'all don't want me to be here, I don't want to be here. Like, just being honest, because I've been doing it enough that I don't want to be in a bad working relationship. I want to have a good working relationship with my client.
It's not, I was here when we hired you, was involved in that process. I'm comfortable, but for transparency, can you send in a simple contract?
Why we need one?
Yeah, and I can
That's
just,
just more work.
It's just as
I
simple.
want everybody to think before you pick up the phone and call him and email, is that necessary? That's all I'm asking. Is that really necessary? And let's get this bill down.
Oh, yeah.
And he just explained,
Because
Why
if
we
if
did
you
not
think you
get a
pick up the
contract.
phone and call him, yeah, he's gonna charge us. That's what he's supposed to do. But is that really, I know we've been busy, but y'all think about it, is that really necessary? Email them over something we can handle.
Well, what do y'all think? Do y'all want a contract or no?
I don't need one.
No.
Okay, then don't worry about it.
last chance to, we're gonna limit,
You can do whatever you want, Madam Chair. They say, and the attorney will tell you, it's good enough to say, it's good enough to write. He wants to charge you $175 an hour or $2,000 an hour. That's between you and him. You guys are the guys that get elected to vote. What a contract does, it protects both parties. So that, and I understand what happened with Mr. Pope. The fact that your attorney worked for free, that's really on him and you guys. Because when Mr. Pope decided to hightail it to Key West, it's clear the attorney should have been paid if he was working. He volunteered to work for free, so we can't say now, well, I work for free. I'm not done. So, and I don't want to debate. But the thing is that
I'm
if
gonna
you,
interrupt.
if you,
I'm gonna
if you,
interrupt, and I think you are done, because we've already talked about it.
I'd like to
and we're-
finish my last
And
sentence,
we're
if
gonna
that's
move
okay.
forward. Yes,
Is that if you're not happy with him, or he's not happy with you, or he gets another job, or something happens, it would be nice to know that he has to give some kind of notice. And that's what goes into a contract, whether it's 30 days or 60 days, and that protects all parties, Madam Chair.
thank
And
you.
I think you see that in the schools or every other place.
Okay,
I will make a motion to approve the invoice.
I second the motion. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, number 5, revision of interlocal agreement by town attorney.
So we had, the issue was Mr. Foreman was going to draft and send us over a proposed interlocal agreement, which essentially put in onto paper what we had been emailing about and what the county had told us about the termination of the agreement. So he did send it over just now. I want to share it with you all, and we can look at it together, because I'm looking at it in more or less real time, just as you want.
Is that what you printed off?
Yes.
That is real time.
You got to take it with them.
Oh, good. Okay.
Thank you.
So the first one is the interlocal that he sent. The attached one is the interlocal that you have had. Did you want to copy, please?
Thank you.
So the one That's the one we're looking at, is the one at the top with the 2 lines where the date's not filled in. And if you start looking down, well, let's just take a second and let everybody read it first.
Do you wanna now go over it in layman's terms?
So basically what they're, saying in this agreement is y'all are agreeing that you're waiving the 1-year notice requirement, to require the county to stop doing it, because they've essentially told you they've stopped doing it and they've given that function to, they've entered into an agreement with somebody else to do that function. That's a separate governmental entity. So we're waiving the, 1-year notice requirement, and that the town and the county will work in cooperation to transition the efforts, or transition the water, system back to the town within 90 days of the date from the date the agreement becomes effective. And they'll give you an accounting for all the deposits and monies that, have been owed or due to either one to the other. Now, my question is that, is there going to be some expectation that you owe them money? Because my thing is, I would wanna say both parties are, I mean, because what you don't want is some surprise good. And if this simply is about, here's how much we collected on water bills, here's how much the deposits are, here's this information, that's one thing. But if it's, here's all of that, plus here are these invoices that somebody's being expected to pay, like I would wanna know when I'm getting it back, like, you're not sending it back to me with a bunch of unpaid bills. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so I would want that language to be sussed out a little more. Ideally, it would be nice if we could do it tonight. Mr. New, I did speak with today, he, and this was before I even got this, but he seemed to be of the impression that transitioning this back would not be overly complicated. I will have to, if we sign it tonight and send it back to them, I have a few questions since it did come like just right now, that I would want to ask if it were me getting it back, just to make sure that at all now. Does that make sense? Like, I don't wanna necessarily just jump to sign something somebody sent me an hour ago. And in fairness to Mr. Foreman, I reached out to him late last week and, cause I said, hey, well, where's the proposal on this? I didn't hear back from him today. I reached out again and said, hey, I reached out, because when I reached out to him last week, I was like, I know you're busy. I'll even write it for you if you want. And then he got it back to me today with, I'm sorry, took this long to get it to you. But we are where we are. And so that would be what I would want to make sure of. I don't think there is, but I don't want there to be any surprises on anybody's part. That makes sense. And we had initially talked about a 6-month transition. This is now down to 90 days. We burn up 30 days of that between now and then, and another 30 days will be burned up if we don't have a special meeting, assuming the county were to agree to vote for this, and then we did our regular time, it'd be November, which is 5 months anyway. What are y'all's thoughts?
Go ahead.
I agree with you time-wise and having time to review it and all those, things. There's a part in here that I wanna make sure that we're not agreeing to, or my thought on it is, where it says, whereas the county has informed the town that as part of its transfer of utilities to North Ward, NFWA is what it says. The county, intended to have NFWA service the PWS under the existing agreement. I don't think we agreed to have them just transfer the agreement to them. Is that that's what it's saying? Is that we agreed to have them do it under the existing agreement with the county?
So it says since the agreement was approved, you're talking about on the second whereas clause here we're looking at?
The third one.
Third one, and at the beginning it prefaces it by saying, since the agreement was approved by in 2021, I'm just paraphrasing here, that the county has now transferred substantially all of its utility workforce and capital to this other entity, which is a separate special district. But that doesn't include the town, because
You're talking about the next.
we're not.
I'm talking about this one.
Right under that.
Right. The county has informed the town that as part of its transfer of utilities to them, the county intended to have that's what they told us when they wrote to us in July and said, hey, we're gonna do this North Florida Regional or North Florida Water Utility essentially in the letter, which was in our packet. It just said, and there'll simply be no disruption to you. It was just a letter saying it will be business as usual. Problem with that was that you had not agreed to that. And under the contract, you had the right, under the interlocal agreement, you had the right to agree. They couldn't just tell you, well, this is what it's gonna be now, here you accept, here you accept it, because you have a contract and you haven't made any agreement with a separate governmental entity. Like, I can't go and make an agreement with one government and then turn around and assign or put that agreement on somebody else and say, well, now they're doing it because you didn't contract with them.
Right,
So your question is, does this imply we agreed to it?
right, that's my question.
And we didn't.
Right.
So
This
should
doesn't
that be
imply-
removed? I mean, if we sign this, I can see where that can say that, yeah, we agree that.
Well, the
North
county
Florida.
intended
Right.
to have them do it, but that was not your intention. And what we can put in here too to allay that, which is why to have more time, we can put that, say the county intended, and then we can put parentheses, but the town did not agree.
Town was not in agreement.
And we did not agree at that time. That's not saying that you couldn't do, that's not like saying, we're never gonna deal with this, because they could potentially be your water operator.
Right. But I think that's something we should directly work with them and it not be a forced agreement, which we had with the county. Now, they're sort of pushing it over to the utility authority. Those are my thoughts.
Okay.
Like, we need to
Cause that once again goes back to the term assignment,
Right.
agree?
So, I have a question about the 90-day deadline. It would be great, if we could meet that 90-day deadline. I'm sure that's our goal. But if we execute this with no provision in there for an extension, then we're gonna have to do an agreement. I mean, this is an agreement to amend the agreement, and then if we don't meet the 90 days, we're gonna have to do another agreement to amend this amendment to the agreement. Should we put an extension provision in there? If mutually, I'm just saying, what if?
This is terminating your old agreement. So this is like a new, this is an agreement between y'all and the county saying, we're modifying our prior agreement, but they're also talking about, and instead, the existing agreement shall be terminated. So in other words, y'all won't owe anything to one another. The date that will begin to run will be the ladder of the date between which the two of you end up signing it, which I don't know when the county ends up meeting, but I think the big question is 90 days enough?
That's my question, because if we get that study back from, Woodard and Kern, and, we're gonna have to review that, possibly have a workshop, and then we're gonna have to develop an RFP and then put that out and have adequate time to respond. So my only question is it possible to put in there, this agreement can be extended by 30 days upon mutual agreement without having to redo another whole thing, or should that be in there?
I can look at that. That wasn't what they presented. However, that doesn't mean it can't be in there. And maybe once I get these like terms, essentially some level of go ahead from the county and get a timeline on when do they meet? When do they meet?
The first and third Thursday of every month.
So the first time they will meet, and is there a time frame on when their items are due on their agenda?
Yeah, they don't put anything on like this, would not go on, this requirement is 7 days. So if they have a Thursday meeting, then they need to put it on their agenda on Friday by the close of business.
So their Thursday, I'm just looking, the first Thursday you said? The first,
and third. Yeah.
First and third, the first Thursday is at 9:30 in the morning.
so that's
Yeah.
November 6th, is the first Thursday,
Yeah, and the third one is in the evening.
is at 20th. So if we were shooting for the 6th, and today is the 20th, and you said they wanted in the Friday before that,
Right.
so that'd be Halloween the 31st.
There's no burn on this.
There's no what?
Burn, BURN, burn,
What do you mean there's no burn?
there's no rush.
Well, no, but if, I'm just looking at a timeline from the perspective of it's now the 20th. If it needs to be on their agenda by in 11 days, and we need to ask a few questions of consultants that are already, like that I just talked with today and probably can talk to tomorrow, as if 90 days was good, I think it probably would be enough of a time for us to figure out that we want to do this. With the changes you're suggesting and to get it on their agenda by the next meeting. But that's just in the normal course of how things are going. It wouldn't be, obviously it wasn't a rush about it because they talked about getting this to us September 15th. It's now October 3rd, 20th, and it's taken a month to get this. So I'm just saying it hasn't really been rushed by anybody. If anything, I could make the argument of we need to get on the stick about this because they've been telling us this since July that we're getting out of this. This is this isn't necessarily emergent when it's not, it's just a regular course of business. But I can shoot for whatever date y'all would like us to shoot for. If we know that it's too short of a period of time, we can ask for, but if Mr. New thinks, and quite frankly, there must be already being some transfer of information, given the fact that isn't that what Mr. New's supposed to be working on? And I can find out from him. But yeah, we
He's
need,
supposed to have that report done within a month, so he'll have that back
We should
to
have
us.
it by this meeting.
But my question is, I like shooting for 90 days. I mean, I think that might be doable, but would it be advisable to have a 30-day extension clause in there in case we don't meet the 90 days? That way we can just mutually agree to extend it another 30 days. Or in attorney and legal terms, is that non-advisable?
so if it's mutually agreeable, then both parties would have to agree to do it. And that would be a way that, like, you could ensure you weren't being held to something that that someone else may be getting the revenue from. And if the people that are in charge of it now are proposing to us that we can definitely put in there the mutually extended part, but they're the ones that are in control of the process now. They're essentially in control of the transition, and they're indicating 90 days. So to me, it's like they believe they can get it to us in 90 days. Now, can we start doing it in 90 days?
That's my question.
That's the question. So I'll maybe check with Mr. New, check if they're willing to do a little more time.
Cause I don't wanna change the 90 to 120 and then we're ready at 90. But then if we're not ready at 90, then we gotta go all the way back through all this to get another 30 days, when we could just include it in there that it's extendable by 30 days upon mutual agreement.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two things. Right now, the county is responsible for maintaining your water system. The quicker they get done with it, the better it is for them, because they're not paying anymore. So, it should be maybe 180 days. They're responsible for the next year because of all the notice, and you're agreeing in this agreement to waive the notice requirements. So they know, look, these county guys, they know what they're doing. They want to get rid of this as fast as possible. You've hired Woodard and Curran to do a report to tell you how to get out of this or what the benefits are. It would clearly make sense to read the report and see what Mr. New and his engineering firm come up with before you send anything to them. This is just a preliminary. So that would be my suggestion for this board, that there's no rush. And clearly, if anything, put 180 days, maybe cut it in half. It's a lot easier to bargain down than it is to bargain up. So that's my suggestion to this board.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
I'm open to doing what y'all are
I
telling.
think we should get the report. I mean, that's what the whole point of it.
I agree. I don't think 180 days, if we have to go back and say, hey, in 90 days, we're ready. We thank you for your service. We're ready to take it over. But I think more, it's better to ask for more than to not be ready and then go back and they say, oh, no,
Yeah.
it's over.
So we want to get with Mr. New, find out what he suggests first to figure that out. We may, just as far as if he's thinking, I'm pretty sure we can do that.
How quick do we have to respond? It took them a month to give it to us, so how quick do we have to respond?
Well, it just came, and in the email he said, which I charged you .2 to review.
And the only reason we got it tonight is because you called him again today. Let's go ahead and put that in there too.
I requested it previously, and I requested last week, and then talked about today.
So I don't think we just need to jump to make
Yeah.
a decision tonight.
Yeah,
I'm
and-
gonna sleep on it.
I don't think that you necessarily do something 11 hours. There might, that's why I wanted us to all look at it together,
Yeah, let's do on this.
kind of,
Give us time all to look at it. We might
Yeah.
want to change something else.
if you wanna send me, do you all wanna like, maybe if you think of something later, like can individually send me whatever your ideas are? Unless that was all of what we're talking about tonight, and I can let Mr. New see this, cause he hasn't seen it either. And I know he's, very interested in this study.
I think that we table it until we get the report from Mr. New. And then we respond.
Okay.
Well, we would be ready to respond to it, cause we'll be looked at this and
Right.
Okay,
more than once.
that works for me.
I agree.
All right.
So do we need a motion to table it, the revision, or were we just discussing it? It was nothing to be voted on.
It was on there, we just had not, it was on there last month too, because we had been waiting for it, and last month I said they'll be sending it. And this month, we finally did get it,
I'm gonna go
So-
covered.
to,
Yeah, 'cause we'll have his.
Yeah.
Next meeting, we'll have Mr. Steve.
I'll say,
Say it out loud again.
I make a motion to table the revision of the interlocal agreement, by the town attorney until we receive a report from Mr. New.
Okay,
I'll say.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, good. So we're gonna move on to number 6. Tim Fudge, he and his wife have put on for years an annual Christmas Eve distribution of turkeys and
The whole
whatnot.
meal, yeah.
Yeah.
They do the whole meals.
And they're requesting to use the community center shelter, really, not the inside the building. You drive up there and get your dinner and go on. And that's one of the things that falls under the guidelines that we talked about, that it does service the entire community for free.
Do
For
we have a
free.
date?
Yes, we do, and
They don't necessarily use the building, though, they just. use the-
no, he did not request to use the building.
Right.
Even if they did, I mean,
Right,
that's something
this
that's
is-
given to the community for
Right.
free.
Yes.
It's not asking
And
something.
they serve a lot of people too, not just
Yeah,
a handful.
December 24th.
is it December?
I think that's when it is,
I'm sorry.
but I wasn't sure.
Okay, it is December 24th, so Kelly, you don't have anything on that date for the community center?
Nope,
Okay, so put that down for
Yeah.
Tim Futch.
yepper.
That's the Christmas Eve meal distribution.
Mhm.
So make a motion to do that. I'll make a motion to
I make
grant
a
their,
motion that we let Tim Futz do his annual Christmas meal at the community center. With a waived fee.
I'll say.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None. Okay, number 7, this has been tabled several times, dissemination of information. And that goes back to an email that Mr. Harold had forwarded. I think we've all had an opportunity to read it, it's been in several packets.
Right. So this is just some of the recommendations from Ken Parker, who's the Managers Association, FCCMA. And he's talking about different ways communities and municipalities share information. And I put it on there just so the council could discuss and see what we all agree should be shared. I will say that when I talked to him on the phone, he gave some examples where, for instance, he said that with the state of Florida, their protocol is they're just gonna send everything to the mayor. He said 99.9% of all correspondence from the state of Florida is just gonna go to the mayor. The state of Florida doesn't determine whether it's a strong mayor who acts alone as the executive, or he's weak mayor who acts as one on council. So he said if it's a weak mayor system, that it's important for the mayor to forward that to the rest of the council and probably the town. Or send it to clerk and she can send it out, but, that would be one example where, you know, we would have that information. But he also said it's important for each of us council members to do the same thing. If we receive information from the county or the city, Flex City, or even a citizen that is something that involves the whole town, that we should forward that information to the other council members as well. So it's not a, you know, standard that we're only applying to one council member. It's something we all should do. So that we all have the same information, we can do some research, and then come to the meeting informed. And, so, I know that Carrie, in her letter said that she didn't think that printing all the emails, you know, that I wasn't advocating for that. I was just advocating for the sharing of information. So what do you guys think is a good way? He said that when the clerk gets information that's pertinent to the council, she should forward it all. He said that might be more time consuming than just printing and putting in the notebook. So, I mean, what do you all think? And Brett, do you have anything to weigh in on this?
So I just wanna say this as a cautionary thing, number one. So you all are all members of the council, meaning you all are all elected officials, and you're not supposed to be having discussions about things that could reasonably come before you for a vote between each other. And so communications like, I'm gonna send this email to all of the council members, it's not a violation of the Sunshine Law. However, it invites the potential for someone, depending on what it is, to have somewhat of a knee-jerk reaction and write back, and then it is. So like somehow it would normally, or unless you can set your email up to where when you forward something, they can't reply back. And there's ways to do that. I'm not a super techie person, but that's the thing. You can, like a lot of people, send all of the stuff to the clerk, and then the clerk just makes it available, like for everybody, like here's what's up. Or you can make an appointment to come in and say, hey, what's in the inbox? And then you don't have to print stuff out. You can just look at it digitally. Maybe you want some things. Maybe it's a bunch of just wasted paper, some of it. As far as like, you know, print this email out, and then you've got this whole 4 other pages that print out, but really you're just looking at the beginning part. So it might be from a like time-saving measure if everybody just committed like 30 minutes a week or something, if you wanted to come to the clerk's office and see like whatever she has, and then you would kind of know in more real time. Because if you just wait for them to do it, then you make it the day before the meeting, then it's like, well, now I've got to process all of this information, I don't have time. It's just all in how you all want to handle the information being given out, but it's not fair to each of you individually for like one of you to have information, the other one doesn't have it, because then it creates like unevenness, and you all are all.
So in this suggestion, he said you can do the read file, which would be a binder, which she prints all of them, puts them in. And then there's the method of just forwarding everything to all the council members. And then there's another one that's a summary of mail, email reports, which that might be time consuming, summarizing, you know. So in my opinion, the easiest is probably just forward all
And not
council members.
respond.
Right, and it would all come from the town clerk. If we wanted, say I got something from Lake City,
And you respond
I would
back
send it to her and she would disseminate it, because we can't, like you said, we can't take a chance on sending it out ourselves.
And I don't know, and two, just for your purposes, like maybe ask the clerk to say, how many emails do you get a day that you would be like, how much is this gonna, if all she's doing is sitting there all day and forwarding emails to people, how's she get her job done? So how much does that take of the clerk's time of like, how much emails are you getting? Fair question. And then you could kind of make an assessment of, is it make more sense for her just to print them all out and then keep them, or to just like forward them? I don't know that it would be, I mean, I don't know how many it is, do y'all?
I don't think it's,
Carrie, like just
I don't
as
get that many.
I mean, Kelly, just as like a,
Well, we don't get near.
question
That's what
for
you say.
like this week, how many emails came in the inbox for the clerk's email? And not this week, Monday, like last week. And then how many emails last week were sent? Because you can look in the sent box and it'll show you what you sent. You can look at the inbox and show you what came in. It'll give you an idea of like how many emails there are. Can you like just like,
Probably, let's see here. In a week, gosh, in a couple of days, 60 easy.
well, you get 50.
60 came in 2 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot from FDOT and just everybody just CCs and forwards and have to look at it.
So how many come in? So how many come in a week? Like just out of curiosity.
Oh, gosh. a bunch.
I mean, so that's something that
We
you may
get
not.
all the government ones.
I think a qualified clerk, and that's not bashing anybody at all. I think a qualified clerk would recognize the content of whether or not that should be forwarded. Cause you're gonna get, buy this container to keep your lollipops in. You're gonna get 10,000 trash emails, and you're gonna get government stuff that doesn't even apply. But like the one that comes to my mind, and there's several, but that ULON thing, getting the final authorization to go forward with ULON,
Mhm.
that, I would think that should have been distributed all along.
Yeah, because that was something very important, and quite frankly, I didn't learn of it until whenever it was like
Well,
just,
it became a crisis.
yeah.
And, Stu said this earlier, we're not under a strong mayor
Right,
council.
right.
And I think it's been I'll flat say, I think it's been a learning experience for our mayor. And I don't wanna bash him because he's not here, but I think he's held reins too tight on some occasions because he can't make a decision or a vote without the
Everybody.
support of us. And this is not directed at him. I'm just gonna throw this out there. It's difficult for me personally to make a decision when I'm given a packet and hours before I say yay or nay. And that's been seldom, because Kelly, y'all been good about delivering the packets. They were, under Connie and Debbie, they were delivered about a week ahead of time. So you really could go over it, and I'd come in here and go over it with Connie, because she'd sit down and go over each thing with me. But, my bottom line is that I think the information should be disseminated, and I think it's important for us to be as educated on the subjects as necessary. I don't think at any time Monica, and I'm just using you, Monica, because you're here tonight, should send me an email, or Bill, or Lonnie. It should always go through the office. Agreed?
Yeah. You put don't respond on, I wouldn't care if I got one. But yeah, you're right, as a whole, yes, mostly yes, it should go through the clerk.
What do you mean you don't care if you got one? Don't you want to
I
know?
wouldn't care if I got one from y'all, if you put don't respond. I wouldn't care if I got one.
Yeah,
I mean, I would
not
say, okay, yeah, that's fine. That's what I meant by that. Not, I don't care, I don't want one.
Go ahead.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Madam Chair. I know I've mentioned this to at least one of you, maybe a few of you. Every email that any one of you get is a public record. Every email that the clerk gets is a public record. Generally, the stuff goes to you guys, and as Ms. Terry pointed out, the mayor gets a lot of stuff, just because the mayors get stuff. If anybody goes, I mentioned this before, to the Alachua County website, I'm pretty sure the city of Gainesville does it and others do, is those guys' emails, every county commissioner, their emails are public. So I would suggest maybe you do this, like over the weekend, there's no secrets. So if the mayor gets an email, everybody can read it in the town, in the world, because it's a public record in the state of Florida so far. And if Mr. Harold gets an email, all you guys can read it, and everybody can read it. The clerk doesn't have to do anything. Because emails, you'll see the disclaimer, I think that's the law now, it says emails are public record, and if you don't want your email to be a public record, don't send it. Call on the phone and talk to me. So I think maybe somebody could call, I work to this, I think somebody works for the city of Alachua. I don't think they do that, but the county does it, and Gainesville, I'm pretty sure it does it, and places do it all over.
City of Gainesville.
Oh, do they do it?
You have to put in a public records request. It's not anything that you could just go and scroll.
Okay, well, I don't know, I heard that they did it, but they may not. But Alachua does it, and other counties do it, and other municipalities do it, is all your emails are just public record. So when you get a thing from DOT and the whole town gets it, you know, you can read it, you see all the junk that people get. I suggest you go to Alachua County and look and see what they do. Makes everybody's job a lot easier. That's just,
Okay.
I have seen that. If you go to West County's website, you just click on the, commissioner's name and it shows everything in their email box. Now, that's probably a service that you have to pay for that we don't have the capability of doing right now. It might be something we could look into, but I don't know what the cost involved in that would be. But it might be something to look at. Anyhow, going back to this, these suggestions, I think the only thing, like Ms. Terry said, is she would have to, evaluate the email, and if it's something, advertisement or junk, obviously that doesn't need to be forwarded. But if it's something that the council may need to be aware of, or to just keep the council informed of the progress of something. For instance, if Greg Bailey sends an email to the town, share that information. That way we may know about it before the meeting when he comes and gives us our updates. That was nice seeing the email about the easements, it gave detailed, where we're at on this one, what the holdup was on this one. I learned that Sunstop had sent theirs back for, changes, that and the other. So I propose that we have the town clerk forward us pertinent emails, not junk emails. And then if we get something pertinent that we need to share with other council members, we forward it to her and ask her to forward it to the other council members. The clerk's report we're already doing, that's on here, a monthly report to the council. It gives some examples of things that, should be in the clerk's report. There's something else on here that we aren't doing now, but I believe in the old meetings, I used to see this, and I think I've heard Mr. Coon talk about this before, but they used to give either a weekly or a monthly report talking about what projects they worked on that week and what Public Works has done, in addition to their normal duties and stuff like that. In here they put, patch potholes on the streets, clean the ditches or whatever, stuff like that would be nice to just hear about, every now and then. And then we don't have social media, so that's out. But that's pretty much it. Just forwarding emails and sharing information. I mean, I think that goes. So
I agree.
are we all in agreement with that?
And pertinent is what is happening in the town. The sewage, the water is definitely pertinent.
Anything outside of
For,
trash mail is pertinent to me because
Anything outside of who? I'm sorry.
trash and junk mail.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
I agree. One other thing I will say, the county implemented a procedure a couple months ago where if a zoning request or I'm not sure if they went into like building permits, But if somebody came in and applied for a zoning change or a building permit or something like that, they notified the county commissioner of that district. We're so small, I think they could just send it to all of us. But if somebody came in and applied for a building permit and build something on XYZ street, you know, she's gonna process that. But, I mean, it would be nice if we were kept informed of things going on like that too.
Building permits come through?
They come in here and apply for a paper, they apply for.
Oh, for the,
Apply
She
for
gets
it,
her
one
paper,
building permit goes to Plymouth
It goes-
County.
right, and then they take it from there, but she gets the initial project information here, but I mean, just like that with Blue Tail, you know, we would like to know that a laundromat's coming to town or a car wash. So if we could get, emails forwarded to the council members on any zoning change, I mean, that's gonna come before the zoning planning board, but if somebody comes in and initiates that process, if she could go ahead and notify us now, or a building permit or something, that way we would know what's going on in the town. It's so small, we should know everything's going on in the town. Like,
Just like outside town there, there's a container building business coming in, don't know about it. Right outside town there, where the car lot used to be.
oh,
I did not
He,
know about
now, the planner looked at it, everything met the codes like it's supposed to be. They are putting in a container. I don't know if they rent them and sell them, I know they sell big containers.
like
Same
storage
business, same business that's in Lake City on 47, just put one in outside. That's the kind of stuff that you're talking about,
Yes.
tell us, you know, hey, this is going in, or this, or they applied for this. That way you can keep up with it and check, say, well, what's happening with it, so,
it.
well, checked it, we didn't have to change nothing, so it wasn't a meeting.
Right,
He said everything was good to fit that area, so. This, the only reason I know about it's because they called me, the people that put it in.
just like when Paul came in and applied to expand the Ace Hardware.
Right.
You know? Did you know that? He get
I mean, I
ready.
knew about it when they
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about it, but I didn't know about it when the
Yeah.
application was.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could get notified of that. I mean, it's such a small town.
We should get notified of stuff like that.
You hear that, Kelly?
Yep, I can do that,
Thank you, ma'am.
absolutely.
And the planner can actually do that as well as things come across his desk.
Yeah.
Because with this sewage, we need to continue to think proactive, things are gonna start popping.
That's what they
Are we
say.
good with that?
So, where are we going here with this?
Do we need to make a motion to have it in place to disseminate things from our office?
Do we need a motion to just instruct her to?
You can just, yeah, I mean, you could do it by consensus, hey, would you send us the information, this is the way we want it? Or you could make a vote that y'all want it that way, or you could create a policy that says this is what happens.
Yeah, we do need a policy.
Something written.
In the interim, in the time between now and then,
I'll just openly say, Kelly, I'm gonna email you tomorrow to send pertinent stuff, and I'll
Yeah.
list a few examples of pertinent.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
so we okay with consensus right now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing is the depot. I brought that up again, because Troy Cruz walked through and still had some problems. Have we taken any action on a pad for handicap, Kelly?
We're waiting for Troy Cruz, he's having a hard time getting here. And, he should be in contact with Buster and Earl any day, because, Earl has questions about something being so old. So they need to get together and chit chat about just a couple of things, so, they have each other's numbers, so it's just a matter of them getting together
Okay,
and take care of it.
and so that would be pertinent when he comes and
Yeah.
evaluates something.
Okay.
That's what.
Bill
pertinent-
Coon would want to immediately know.
Pertinent means.
Yes,
Okay.
because it's something active in our town, it's active on the table of the council. Also, I'd like to have a vote that we remove those no trespassing signs that are still up there. Do we want those up there?
You gotta vote to remove them. I
Well,
thought you voted to put them up. Thank you, you
I-
put a work order in.
I've said over and over and over to remove those signs, and they haven't
What?
been received. Or they haven't been removed, and then the mayor said that the insurance told us to keep them up there. So I'd like to make a motion
We'll
to
get some
remove
from you
those
from the
no
bill.
trespassing signs.
Well, wait a minute, do we know that insurance told us that it needed to be up there?
I don't know that.
What is the reason for, I don't know, I don't see any other public building with no
Oh, me
trespassing
neither.
signs.
Me neither. Just do a work order, tell them to take them down. I'm meeting with them Wednesday.
I'll second your motion.
If it-
All those in favor say,
Aye.
all those opposed? That passed.
I'll,
And then my
I'm
last,
meeting with them Wednesday, so, with the crew,
good,
so,
they did a great job on that drainage ditch. And I talked with Earl, Bill, about putting some reflective signs or posts or something in front of that ditch that is right there by Hungry Howie's. Cause someone's gonna
yeah,
inadvertently find himself at the bottom of that ditch.
yeah, we'll have to put something there.
And then my last thing with the depot was, I was trying to get a group of walkers to start and stop there. And I had mentioned in a meeting about us using the bathroom, and then it came to my attention that that might interfere with some rentals. So do we see that as a problem?
I mean, we can just do it like, if, this is my idea, that we can do it like we do the, community center. If it's rented, then it's not available, and they just have to understand that, but
Exactly.
if it's not, if it's available, then I don't see why it can't be
Exactly.
used.
Those were my thoughts, but I wanted it cleared through the council, so is that something, Mr. Bullard, that we can just have an agreement on, or does that need a vote as well? Okay, thank you.
And I think,
Go ahead.
just speak, I think, Mr. Harrell was gonna be working on the rental.
I'm gonna do the rental.
For
You can
that,
do it if you
but
want.
I'm saying the policies and the
the
prices,
community
and
center.
you're only doing the community center?
Well, that's what I was working on, but when we get, I mean, do you want to do the?
I think they should mimic each other.
Well, I was gonna mimic what's on the site, on the website, cause the form, the rental form is on the website, and I just hadn't done it because we can't get past Troy Cruz and all those little, not against him, just getting the,
That probably needs to be looked at too, the rental form, because if he's gonna update things and procedures on renting it and, you know, who qualifies for what and all that, then I think they should both mirror each
I
other.
agree. You want both?
I can, I've already gotten some, policies from other communities, and I'm kind of comparing them, and I'll bring to one of the next meetings, some of those, and kind of look at what aspects we want in ours, what we don't, what the, you know,
Okay.
as far as letting it go for free versus, you know,
And-
reduced, whether we want a reduced fee for certain organizations, so.
We know this, but I still wanna say it out loud, that depot is a much smaller venue, so it'd be a lower rate, and I don't know if the, and I don't even know if the community center is by the hour or by the day.
it's by the day,
Yeah,
and
So-
I'm telling you,
can there be like a 4-block hour or something like that? 'Cause
I don't think so, that's
You
cheap
got
enough.
it, you got it.
$200.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, I went to a shower the other day, the room was no bigger than this. For 2 to 4, 2 hours.
Yes, it makes sense.
It was 4, no, it was in in the middle of, between the Lotso and Gainesville, so it wasn't even in a town, it was in the county. $400
Yeah,
for 2 hours. Now, they had restaurants and they had beer going out front, but they wouldn't allow drinking it.
okay, it looks like we have
Sure.
another opportunity for citizens' comments.
Done?
Just real quick, I did wanna mention a couple things that would come up. Number
Okay.
one, the ADA compliance issue, that is very important. We have to get on that. The other issue, Sunstop, they did have an question with their easement. This wasn't something super big deal. They had asked that the easement clarified that they would not be charged when they hooked it up to the system, which is already included in the grant. So it was like, They just wanted more assurance. It wasn't like they changed the substantive, like that was already happening under the grant. They just wanted an assurance that it was.
We need to get on that with them and let them get it signed, because that's,
Question, Brent.
Yes, sir.
When we were at the community center a couple months ago, we had that, agenda item for upping the fee from 500 to 1,500 for, what was that? Did we table that? Or
500 to 1,500.
during the audit for the purchasing thing?
Purchasing policy.
Yes.
You had mentioned to me about that. I have that written on a note, but it's just one of those things that kind of like other stuff's been happening, but.
You're working on that?
Well, I had a note to get with you about it, cause you'd asked me about it,
Yes.
and I just haven't had a chance to, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay. And was there one more thing I want to ask you about? You're working on the mandatory hookup ordinance for sewage.
Correct.
Okay, and I think I already talked to you once, are we gonna need to change our water ordinance? Because of the way some people are paying to
You're-
avoid hookup, and then the sewage is based on usage?
So I think the issue that you had was once the system is built, there are people that are on the town water system and and they would mimic each other. In other words, if you're on water, you can be on sewer, you have the infrastructure there in place. But there may be people who aren't on water that would be then on sewer. And how does that look for them as far as, are they gonna be required to connect to the water system? But number one, is the water system even available to these customers that would be affected?
Yes,
So
because, a citizen called me and asked me that question.
If the
She's-
water was available?
No, she's paying the $300 a year to use her well.
Okay,
And she said, when the sewage comes online, am I gonna be forced to switch to town water?
as well. And that's a decision that y'all will have to make, like closer to the time of when that comes. But you can go either way. You could, in the mandatory hookup, you're mandatorily requiring them to hook up to the sewer system because that's what you've got. That's what you have to do for your grant, but your water system is already built. Nobody's saying you need to require people to mandatorily hook up to it because it's already been built and paid for. If you wanted to require that to be a thing, then that's a decision that y'all could either elect to do that or elect not to do it. But under the mandatory hookup ordinance for the sewer, they'll have to hook into the sewer.
Well, the reason
I don't know how
it's
they,
a concern is because, during several discussions, it's been said that the sewage is based off of your water usage, and if you're using a well, there's no way to measure your water usage.
the only way you would be able to do that is come up with a number, a figure that you would say, okay, if you're not, you'd have to do a separate ordinance that's, with your, whatever you're gonna charge them for sewer. If some people don't have that capability, if they're not hooked into the water system, they'll be charged X, whatever X is. And that's what they'll be paying on regardless of how much they use. But that X, you would ideally want to be sure is enough to cover it because you're not gonna make money. And then your experts can tell you typically you're not making money on wastewater. You're maybe make a little bit, but where your revenue really comes to offset that is your water resource. Because just you're pumping water out of the ground and selling it to someone, when you're taking that water back, it's dirty, you've got to clean it, you got to spend a lot of money. And so that's why the cost is different. So that begs the question of how do you figure out if somebody's not on city water, how much sewer are they using? And we'll have to ask. There are different opinions about that. As far as there's some standard is an average household works uses 3,000 gallons of water, but that's average. Some people use 5, 6, 7.
So we would have to set, a set fee, and we'd have to estimate based on household size, and we would have to overestimate to make sure we weren't underestimating and treating well water for free.
I think we,
Go ahead. Yeah, you can.
oh, I think maybe we probably should see if this is something Mr. New.
I've talked to him.
What
He
is
didn't
what
have
is-
any-
did he say? Did he give
Ultimately, we
suggestion?
have to make the decision, I think, but
He said there are many communities that require, when they implement the sewage, they require mandatory water hookup. Only because that's how they base the treatment of sewage. But I think he said there was another community that he knows of that didn't require it, but he was gonna check into it and see how they bill.
Okay.
So that's something that he can probably give us some more insight on. And then my last question was, did we ever find anything on the Blue Jay? Because I know that's kind of just slipping away. And, you know, I don't want to wait forever until it's too late to do anything. I mean, are we going to just let that go, or have we found out anything about whether or not they violated any with clear cutting that property?
I know they violated it,
Oh, I
they,
don't know
and
anything
they
about
got on mine, they violated the tree ordinance.
that was with you coming in and Mr. Pope leaving. But I think the ultimate thing is we don't have code enforcement. So we were getting into a sticky situation of what we should do about it, or what we could do about it without code enforcement. I think that's what was said.
what happened.
A property on 27 was
A
cleared,
commercial piece of property.
like cleared, dirt, nothing but dirt, without going through.
That there was some ordinance or some regulation in place.
We have a tree ordinance. You take so many trees out, you gotta put so much back, or leave so many.
Can they put them back? I mean, like,
We haven't
I like
contacted
to
them
look.
about nothing. They just say, oops, sorry.
They sent a letter of apology, and then we just haven't taken any kind of action, you know.
Now, the
But-
letter said that they cleared it with the intent of putting, I believe, a car wash there
Oh, yeah.
on that lot. And then when they found out that it didn't have central sewage,
They didn't want to do that.
they decided to put the brakes on that.
That was just,
Which
the
if
reason
I
why
was
they
trying to
cleared it,
put
that
a
was all it
laundry
was.
mat in, before I worried about how many trees I had to take down, I would probably wanna know what my sewer and water look like, since I'm putting into the sewer and taking out the water to run the business. But, that being said, taking somebody at their word, they didn't do that forethought, but that's kind of on them if they violated it.
they
But
knew
how
what
do
they
you,
were doing.
how do you, it's like, we're sorry we did this, and they may very well be. How much resources can the town, how much resources does the town wanna, like, put into, like, what are we wanting to do?
Well, that's my question. Are we gonna let it go, or are we gonna find the ordinance and see what the penalties are for violating it? That's probably what we need to do, locate the ordinance.
No, that's not for him to do.
No,
That's what I was
no,
saying.
I'm saying that's what we need to do.
I'm
He's
making a
taking that
list.
as- he's
I'm
taking
trying to
that
tell
as-
y'all that the
He's taking that as, hey, y'all giving me something to do here. I've seen him write it down.
So we can find the ordinance and then see what the penalties are. and
I
then
said,
Right.
Put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Exactly.
right, because I think these are things that we have to get in order with sewage coming to town, because we can't accept the apology letter from everybody saying, oops, oh, we did it, nothing's being done about it.
Right.
So I agree with seeing what the ordinance says, put it on the agenda for action.
um,
I'll come in and look for that ordinance
And, have we re-advertised for code enforcement, Kelly?
We have not yet.
We've got to get that on there,
I think the old one's still listed.
Well,
I gotta check and see the expiration is on that.
at minimum, last meeting, we said the old one was not sufficient.
Right, with the wording, right.
Yeah, can you, I think I sent you a code enforcement RFP from High Springs. Did you saw that, right?
Oh, well, I could have, I'm gonna have to look for it on.
I'll resend it and, maybe you can forward it to all the council members and let them review it and see if there's anything in there they wanna change.
Yep.
And then after you get some feedback, then you can repost it
Done.
as a code enforcement officer.
Yep.
And then, since we're running the clerk's report, I was gonna ask you, what is the status of the live streaming the meetings? I know we got the webcam up there and it's working now, right?
Yeah, not having an issue, what do you mean live streaming meetings? You mean like, so it automatically goes exactly after it ends?
No, so we're live.
Live.
The council passed that we live stream those on YouTube so that people can watch it live like the county.
Okay, have not ventured there yet. I do know that this one cuts off at 3 hours.
The webcam?
One of those.
That's the one you had sent a couple
I
months
heard-
ago.
That's the thing within there.
That's the one what?
That's the one, remember you sent, the link to it?
I'm breathing.
Yeah, that's the one the county has.
Wow, does theirs go after, cause this one at 3 hours, like 3 hours, 3:15, it cuts off.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get in touch with Todd and see what he knows about that. But yeah, we don't wanna start live streaming if that's cutting off,
Yeah,
so.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And then the clerk job, did we get that on Indeed yet?
Oh, 3:30 this afternoon, I finally got that changed by the way.
Awesome.
Yes,
Thank
so
What
tomorrow.
about that other group? What was that other one?
There was another one, governmentjobs.com or
No,
something.
no, there was another one.
Florida League of Cities.
That's all.
It's on there.
Yeah, no, there's another one on there. Well, another big one like Indeed.
Indeed and
CCMA,
Career builder.
FCCMA
I'll talk to
was
her.
down there as well.
I'll call her.
Still there.
Florida Municipal Clerks
Yeah.
Association.
The other one I was talking about is the one Lake City uses. The city of Lake City, they use that, and it's like governmentjobs.com or something.
Oh, yes, I am going to look at that tomorrow. I revisited your email with that today, so,
Okay,
yep, let me check that
Great.
out tomorrow.
thank you. That's all I have.
You guys should get walkie-talkies.
I got one. Does anybody know anything about what's going on with that investigation?
What investigation?
The investigation between Councilman Harold and the town clerk.
We should be getting, something disseminated out for you guys, like shortly.
It's not only takes, but I know she's still talking to everybody. That's all I got.
Monica, do you wanna say anything about that?
Oh,
I'm just saying, cause council,
I think I told it right at the beginning, but the update that I got today is by next week, we should have park equipment and it should be complete. So that's for D Square. And then once they're done with that, and then we could get the process started for reimbursements for that, then I'll move to Johnny B. Bryan. So
Okay, good.
next week,
good, we'll see.
we'll
I'll be
see.
looking out that window, trust me. Do we have anything else?
Did you do the clerk's report with CDBG final invoice? Did you have some final invoices?
That was just for for their approval to pay the contractors.
Do we need
That
to
should've
make
been-
a motion to
That
approve
should've-
it?
That should have been on the agenda. That is not on the agenda.
Yeah, that's true.
We can't do it.
It's under council.
Did you all already approve the
It's for
expenditure
the grants
of the
and,
money?
I don't know how they did it when Carrie was here.
Is that through the grants that the mayor was talking about last
Yes,
time?
yes.
That he was just showing us? we can seal them, I mean, but we've already, they've already been paid them, they just started showing us the invoice.
Yes.
Okay, so it's nothing for us.
It's through the grant, no, it's through the grant.
For us, okay.
And just on that note, that was another situation that was not disseminated, not the payment, but the process of the sidewalks being built over there by the school. And that kind of turned into, everybody scrambling around to make sure they were being put in the right place. Do y'all remember any of that? I mean, the school called me and, you know, we've discussed, giving that road to them. And they didn't want, and I think we, the town, didn't want the sidewalk going by the cemetery. And so anyway, I had to do a bunch of calls back and forth. And Carrie had to call the mayor, because I couldn't call the mayor, but it all worked out. But I mean, something like that we should know is gonna happen. If we know they're gonna pour sidewalks on Tuesday, the council members need to know. Because I don't know about y'all, but people call me, why, what are they building? It's Tuesday and I was doing my walk and they're pouring concrete, what's going on? And I kind of get frustrated when I have to say, I don't know. Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll say.
All those in favor? All those opposed?
That's,
Good night.
good.